Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Birthright here as we work our way through some of the remaining boss realms. For those who want to see additional Birthright content, whether it's seeing any of these videos early or even some unique things that are exclusive to the Patreon, consider joining our Patreon. We have a couple of different tier options there, and any and all support is greatly appreciated. That lets us continue to bring all these videos to you guys. Yeah, get yourself some early access and some unique things that we'll have for Birthright specifically on the channel, including some of the other D&D campaign worlds that we're expanding into as well. And we're hoping to add more and more as we go, so any and all support matters. But let's jump in here. Velenoye is an interesting one. It's chaotic evil, emphasis on the chaotic here, certainly, even more so than some of the realms that we've seen recently. So, nearly devoid of vegetation and wildlife, Velenoye's provinces and holdings undergo drastic changes of fortune, depending on how well or badly its warriors fare against the Sword Rust tribes and the dreaded Fjorsk Slektra. In recent years, they've made inroads against the former, but have fallen victims to the latter. We'll again take a look at the map here real quick on page 13. And also something to think about, too, for some of the other realms that we've looked at here more recently. So here we have Lutovsky, which we've covered in a previous video, so you can kind of see where that realm is situated. Then you got Velenoye here, and eventually we'll be getting to Zoloskaya as well, just for these particular realms. So the law here, the Zara of Velenoye, Fiala Ruska, level 7 fighter and neutral evil, smaller bloodline, controls the law that exists within the realm through her Zarevos and Boyars. Interestingly enough, she does not at least have Azrai's bloodline. Temples. Velenoye's Temple of Might, one of the most influential in Bossgard, is headed by the Winter Witch, Lida Marnorin. She's level 10 Priestess of Krisha, does have an Azrai bloodline, small one though, but lawful evil, but still pretty potent being a level 10 priest. She controls nearly all the temple holdings in the land and has begun expanding beyond the realm's borders. Guild activity. By the order of the Temple of Might, no guilds based within Velenoye may trade with any other realm. This hardly bothers the raiders of Velenoye, headed by the pirate Nikoli, level 8 thief. It's minuscule bloodline there, Azrai as well. This edict does impose some restrictions on Victor Keskin, level 4 thief, just neutral, however, who seeks to improve his herd's breeding stock. And then sources: an enemy of Velenoye and most Voss, Fjorsk Slektra, is a level 17 wizard, and pretty solid bloodline there. And again, just super, it's a high level wizard regardless of setting, but especially here in Birthright, we don't see many wizards that are in the double digits, and very few even like of the named and more infamous characters, and again like the core Birthright Anawir setting approach anything like that. So here, just to have another sort of high level character at level 17 is pretty impressive. Excuse me. But it holds the sources along the northern border of Velenoye. She seems to punish both Velenoye and the Sword Rust tribes equally with her powers, and some believe she wants to carve out a realm of her own, which again could be an interesting adventure hook if that is indeed something that character is wanting. Then finally, the provinces. The Zareva rules every province in which she holds a law holding through her Zarevos and Boyars, but the rest of Velenoye remains uncontrolled. So we'll take a look at that below in just a moment. Not much regency, so 20 and 6 respectively. She does turn over half the regency she generates each domain turn to the Temple of Might, and keyword, she must do that. Again, this is not a realm for characters to run, but just something for the DM to keep in mind as far as the relationship goes there. Treasury, not terrible for a Voss realm, certainly. 12 gold bars. The Zara is expected to tithe after spending gold bars on realm maintenance and troops. Again, she must turn over half the remaining GB to Lida Marnorin every domain turn, so the church really is what's running the realm here, if you can't gather that already. Does have a solid standing army and navy, though. Because of their continuous wars with the Sword Rust tribes, Velenoye does maintain a large standing army all time, so they have actually 3 units of Varsk riders, so pretty, the unique Voss cavalry there. Mainly composed of levies here, though, right? 4 units of levies, not going to do much. But they do have 3 units of elite infantry, though. Nothing to sneeze at there. That is kind of the core hitting power of their forces. And then also 2 units of pikes, interestingly enough. You'd think that they'd have some more just irregulars, but they have taken up pike usage here. So then also a navy. So 2 Drakkar and 3 longships. So really nothing to sneeze at. Now, while Fiala Ruska holds the title of Zara of Velenoye, she takes her orders from the priestess here, Lida Marnarin, almost as if she were a vassal. If Fiala chafes at this arrangement, she is wise enough not to show it. At least half her Zarevos bear spell tattoos personally granted to them by the Winter Witch. Still in her early 30s, Fiala took over rulership of the realm from her cousin, the late Tsar. While in disfavor with the Temple of Might, the former Tsar died fighting the Sword Rust tribes during the latest campaign against them, garnering no protection from his many spell tattoos. This lesson was not lost on the new regent. So again, the spell tattoo thing is a cool, unique thing from this part here with the boss. So, and really has some cool properties, but also here used as a political and spiritual control device as well. Whether, if you don't have any, obviously you're not going to benefit from what the spell tattoos can do for you, and seemingly in this case the priestesses can make sure that they function or don't function based on the god's favor. Now the provinces here we saw basically a lot of the realm is uninhabited or very minimally inhabited, and not much law extends there. As you can see, her law holdings, as such as they are basically all that she can have here, though Abrisky could use another level there, but at least 2 provinces don't have any law whatsoever. And the realm is mainly just level 1 and 2 provinces, although we get that 0 in there as well. But Velesk, which is the major area, is at a 4, so it's nothing to sneeze at. And she does have all the law here. Temples, 100% controlled by Lida Marnarin. Guild activity is a little bit split. We saw that. And then the sources are split between Ferorsk, Selectra, and then Petra Morinoy as well has a source there. So now moving on, no one thinks of Fiala as merely a puppet of Lida Marnarin and the Temple of Might. Although Fiala keeps her ears open to the temple's interests, she herself decides how her realm will be ruled. On occasion, the Zara has publicly disagreed with Lida Marnarin and emerged victorious. Lieutenants that she does have as such. 3 are vassals who rule in her name the provinces of Abrisky, Knana, Tali, and Norfsk. War chiefs all, they lead her troops into battle against the Sword Rust tribes and sometimes accompany Nikoli or the other raiders on their quote-unquote trading missions. She has 2 other lieutenants of note. The first, Galina Whitehand, level 3 priestess, entered her service at the behest of the Temple of Might. Technically, she serves Fiala as a spiritual advisor, but all know that she makes her final report to Lida Marnarin. So, almost like a Soviet-style setup here. So they got like these sort of like commissars and like political officers. The priestesses are kind of functioning in that same role. Fiala's other notable lieutenant, the Boyar Joseph Khan, is a level 7 ranger and actually neutral good, fancies himself a possible consort of the Zara. Despite their differences in alignment, the 2 seem to be attracted to each other. The robber knight, who has spent most of his time of late trying to win the province of Aralzik for Zara, Velenoye, is extremely popular among the common folk of the realm, and most of Velenoye's troops as well. Lida Marnarin despises the ranger, however, and longs for an excuse to outlaw or exile him. So there's some potential conflict there, possible love interest, but also trying to actually win, additional territory. But then the priestess doesn't like that, and if push came to shove here between the priestess or the Zara having to choose between the priest's wishes and her potential love interest, what will win out there? So that could be a certain source of conflict if characters do find themselves adventuring here and maybe looking to exploit that. Okay, moving on. Other important NPCs. Simply put, the chief Winter Witch of Velenoye is the most powerful and important person in the realm, bar none. Feared and respected by those who hear her name, Lida Marnarin wields her regency like a long-bladed dagger, subtly but always with a point. She brooks no interference from outsiders and orders the realm as she sees fit. In deference to the warrior nature of the Voss, however, she has not tried to supplant the Zara as the ruler of the realm. That hasn't been necessary yet, quote-unquote, yet. So again, potential conflict there. Now, those who would like to oppose her, I mean, she is pretty damn powerful as sitting at level 10 with, basically a whole church's worth of forces as backup. An older woman, Lita has served Krisha for nearly 40 years and the Temple of Might in Velenoye for 20. As a regent, she has outlived 5 Tsars and Zaras, and she has a capacity for patience and subtlety characteristic of the Winter Witches. Under her rule, Krisha has risen at the expense of Balanik in Velenoye's temples, but no followers of the war god appear strong enough to challenge her. She keeps the Zarevos and warriors of the realm busy fighting the Orogs of the Orlanaskis, or raiding other realms to supply Velenoye with necessary goods. Recently, though, she's given thought to expanding her influence beyond Velenoye. She has discouraged Fiala from increasing the population of the realm's provinces, less chance of a rival temple moving in, but she has shown interest in founding temple holdings within Melie, Rovninodensk, and the Manticore's domain. It rankles her that the one true church of Vosgard, the Temple of Might's main rival in the region, holds so much influence in the Anshe's domain. So that's always a risky proposition, right? Not just dealing with a rival church, but doing so in Anshe's actual realm. So a bold plan, we'll say. We'll see how it works out. One other character of note survives within hostile Velenoye. Leo Netsky, a level 6 fighter, actually neutral good as well, struggles to bring Nana Voss influence to an overwhelmingly Torva Voss realm. He travels the region helping peasants rebuild their homes and villages after Fiala's troops collect taxes to fuel Velenoye's military machine, and he tries to discourage the worship of Balanek and Krisha, though he proposes no really alternative religion. So he's not having that much success, though. If Lita or Fiala had heard of Leo, they've made no sign. Those few who know him praise his efforts, secretly, of course, and he seems to know exactly who he can approach and when. So it could be an interesting, mysterious character here, sort of point of contact, and maybe a worthy person to note for any PCs doing adventuring here. So some of his friends in the realm believe he gets aid from the Zor of Melie, the regent of Rovninodensk, or even Fiala's own lieutenant, Joseph Khan. So interesting options there. DM's discretion, of course, and how they want to play that up. But again, another good character in an otherwise pretty rough realm as far as alignments and things go. But that is, again, one of the wonderful struggles of adventuring in and around the Voss realms, that struggle between the super brutal traditional Voss and then the newer, more somewhat enlightened, civilized Voss, and just, which will win out. You got the cultural side, the political side, and the religious side all intertwined here, very in a very complicated manner. So now the description. The shadows of the Orlanaske Mountains fall heavily on the region, or on the open southern provinces of Velenoye. Once a green forested land, the realm has been beaten into submission by its oft brutal lords. Bands of men and women under the command of the Tsar's lieutenants forage what little they can from the land and harden themselves for the inevitable next battle. Only 2 provinces, Kustagran and Velesk, show any signs of stability. Velesk, the capital province, maintains wheat and potato farms, while Kustagran supports a modest fishing trade. Small fishing villages dot the protected inlet all the way to Abriski, where small subsistence farms take advantage of the relative protected land. Now, the capital itself, Velesk, may be one of the oldest cities in Vosgard, with the exception of Rovnograd, and it looks it. While the Tsar orders her capital's defense and the chief Winter Witch oversees her temple's holdings, little has been done over the years to reinforce or improve the city. Trade and traffic exist in squalor in the tightly packed city of Velesk, and few people, even warriors, brave the night streets alone. So, just a brutal capital city to match a brutal realm. Other sites, outwardly a war camp like any other, the Tekid, the base camp of Joseph Khan, hides secrets even from the boyar's beloved Zara. Khan and his warriors rule the province of Ariski for the Zara, and they have been charged with taking Aralzik, a task in which they have nearly succeeded. But the Zara might not be so pleased with Khan's successes if she knew what his own Tekid contained. Nana refugees driven from Velesk and other Torva provinces and given shelter by the boyar himself. Rumors hint that Leo Nedsky finds shelter in Joseph's Tekid. So some interesting, again, potential sources of conflict there. Allies, well, going to be a little thin here. So Velenoye exists almost in a vacuum. Its chief ally is Melie, a realm that formed by breaking away from Velenoye's dominance. Relations between the two have been strained ever since. Basically, even the Zara's pride won't stand in the way of her common sense. She would take back Melie and its rich silver mines if she could be assured of victory, but for now she prefers Melie as a lukewarm ally rather than a rich enemy. But real enemies, there's never a shortage of those. The Sword Rush tribes have tried to take Velenoye's mountain provinces for years, and Velenoye has tried expanding north into their territory for just as long. Both realms despise each other, and each would do anything to destroy the other. Velenoye also has an ancient enmity with Tuar Anwen, but that has slept soundly for years, so the elves, which we've covered in a previous video. But that really, I think, would be sort of an immediate adventure hook if we're maybe starting off in this realm. Just almost like a immediate quest to start leading raids and other battles and things like that against the Sword Rush tribes, and maybe finding other ways to weaken them. So that would be some initial adventuring, I think, to get through the ranks of service in the realm, but then maybe gradually finding some of these other characters who are sheltering like those Nana refugees. So maybe getting into contact with like Joseph Kahn and some of these other NPCs, and really seeing the sort of split in what a Voss realm really could be. You got the traditional harsh rule between the priests, priestesses, and the czars and tsarevas and stuff like that. But then seeing like that there is this different way of life here, but you have again these internal conflicts and these existential issues here with the other neighboring enemy territories. So all pretty interesting potential conflicts there. I always love that they include these DM secrets in this book, since we never got an actual series for the game, since the setting unfortunately was canceled. So the following DM secrets should help stir up some action here. The Boyar, Joseph Kahn, actually employs Leo Nedsky. He seeks out Nana sympathizers and directs them to Khan's Abriskite camp. Keeps a careful eye out for spies as well as talented individuals Khan might have a use for, which again, insert the players. Already Nedsky has found a few priests of non-traditional Voss faiths, Irai Khan and Ayarda, willing to set up secret temples in either Abriski or Aralzik as soon as Joseph gives the word. Rumor has it that Joseph is waiting until the Zara tries to claim Aralzik. While her resources are diverted, he will begin a carefully orchestrated uprising in Aralzik and Abriski. In order for the operation to work, Khan would like the support of Ferorsk Selectra, but he has no way to contact her or guarantee her aid. Again, insert the players to maybe broker that. Khan would like nothing more than to throw the Temple of Might and lead Amarnarin out of the realm, and again, that could be an ultimate campaign goal if the players really decide that, one of the biggest sources of problems and oppression really is that the temple, and just trying to create a new realm in a new way. And then perhaps gain control of a province or two himself, and maybe even just forge their own little mini state. A simple man, Victor Kleskin, desires nothing more than to care for Velenoye's Varsk herds and improve their breeding stock. His original animals were Varsks stolen from Rovninodensk by the raiders of Velenoye, no doubt, and he longs to share secrets and bloodlines with the Western realm. But the Zara, at the direction of Lida Marnarin, has forbidden it. So secretly, Victor has contacted both Joseph Kahn and the pirate Nikoli in the hope that one of them will help him set up a secret trade route with Rovninodensk. So again, a risky game there, but again, could be one where the players are tasked to go on that trading route for security, and maybe they are discovered, unfortunately, by agents of the priestess or the Zara, and have to make a tough choice. Do you let yourself be captured and give in, or do you silence the interlopers and then hope to keep that secret there in order to help the guy continue his secret trade? However, unfortunately for simple Victor, Both his contacts seek to use him for their own purposes. Joseph wants trained Varsks for his rebellion, and Nikolai wants information he can trade to either Marnarin or the Tsar for power and influence. Both are working hard to set up the Varsk breeder, but it's only a matter of time before one succeeds. So yeah, they don't necessarily have his interests at heart there. So, but that is a quick look at Velenoye. So again, you got plenty of things going on here, a lot of interesting adventure hooks as well, and you got several interesting neighbors that we've already covered, and just where different campaigns and internal but also external issues could take you. Let us know, guys, if you've adventured in and around Velenoye and how that's gone in a campaign for you, or how you might use some of the information we covered to do so. Hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe, and again, if you want to see this stuff early and some other unique things, head over to our Patreon. Love to see some more supporters. Thanks so much.